Hello everyone, happy hump day. It is Wednesday today and it's awesome to have you all here. I thought we'd start a little bit early because I do need to finish a little bit early too. I have another client call at 2 o'clock. However, this is my last one and it is the last one, I promise. So lots more community stuff. So I do have to start off with a massive confession. I had huge plans to do lots of videos and I haven't done them yet, but the week isn't over and I still plan to get lots done. But how are you all doing? It's awesome to have you here. We see the usual suspects. Hey, Karen has just joined us, going back up through the chat. Jose, awesome to have you here. Ben, Brian, long time. How are you, Brian? What you been up to? How is the Linux world, Brian? Jennifer is also heavily, and Azing as well, heavily involved in the Linux world. Brian too as well. He has been heavily involved in a long time. For everyone here, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. It really helps support the channel. And also join the Discord channel and we can continue the conversations between these live streams. But there are more videos and live streams coming, more technical ones focused on actually hands-on coding. And you can see me struggle and you can see me have some challenges and also be successful and jump in. Jason G, how are you doing? I think you're new. I don't recognize your name. You don't have a profile picture, so I don't recognize that either. Karen and Jason, please both do me a favor and put a profile picture. It can be a picture of your dog, your cat, a cartoon character. I don't mind. Just something helps me identify you in the chat. But Jason, let us know something about yourself. What do you work on? What tech do you use? Or what area are you in? You don't have to be in tech. And same with Karen. Karen, I think last time you elaborated a little bit. If you could do a little bit more, that would be awesome. So thank you, Jason. That's cool. So for the acknowledgement, that's awesome. So hopefully I gave a shout out to the usual suspects and also the new people. It is great to have you here. We've had some really good chats this week about starting new projects, about setting up the pipeline of a project, even if it's your side project. Make sure you have CI and various other things. If I didn't give anyone a shout out and they are here, just write open source in the chat and I'll definitely give you a shout out because it's, I really am grateful for you all to be here, taking an hour out of your day to come and chill with all of us. And as I always say, I'm here to start the conversation. I don't have all the answers. I have a lot of the answers, but that cough wasn't part of anything. That was just a bad sore throat. No corona, I promise. So yeah, out here to start the conversation and facilitate it. And a lot of the time, someone in the community has the answer. Someone on our network does. So it's awesome to have you all here. Brian, a Linux guru, has arrived. Join Discord, lend us your expertise. Yeah, exactly. Let's bring that up. I think Azing, love the encouragement. Let's bring that up on the screen right about here. Yeah, awesome to have Brian here. I know Brian's a busy man, but hopefully he can join and help out and answer some questions. I know he runs Linuxing in London, which is another meetup group, which has now gone virtual. So other people around the world can also join. I highly recommend joining. So who else do we have? Semipan is here as well. Good to have you here. I missed that. So Azing, thank you very much for writing hi to Semipan, because that reminded me that I missed the message earlier on. So thank you very much. Yeah, and it's just, how's everyone's week going? It's halfway through the week. I hope your week has been good. And by good, I don't just mean, fluffy good. I mean, I hope you've had some challenges, which means you're pushing yourself. And I hopefully you have been successful with those challenges. And hopefully you have some more challenges to do for the rest of the week. I working last day on my client today, and the third party that we're supposed to get an update of the SDK from has given us an update. They fixed one bug, but they've introduced like 4 or 5 more. So we're not actually going to deploy that new version of the SDK. And that's, part and parcel of being in tech. You've got to make that judgment call. Yes, we do want that one extra bug fix, but I don't want the other 4 that come with it. So next week, they're going to give us a new version, but it won't be me doing that. I have actually ended my time after a year and a half with that client. I'm moving on to different things. Brian says he does Windows 2. Yeah, I wouldn't admit that on a live stream. Oops, have I brought that up twice? My bad. So yes, I am running Windows, as you can see on this screen up here, and I have a serious love-hate relationship with it. But this is all Mac down here. So yes, what does everyone else use? But it's not a start a flame war. Let us know what you use. It's interesting to get different people's feedback and what they use. Brian says, this month's great for Linux. Ubuntu 20.04 has been released. Has been. So that is past tense, right, Brian? So is that out already? Jennifer, what version are you using? Remind me. I know we had a bit of discussion in the Discord channel, but do remind me. Karen says, just dropped my DP. Hope it got updated on your end too. A DP? What's DP? Ah, yes, I've missed it. Thank you very much. So Karen says, cybersec. Nice. We don't actually have too many people in cybersec here. So that's really good to have you here. Let us know, what area in cybersec and how long have you been in it? I think that's a really interesting subject. I've definitely missed lots of chat, so I do apologize. Tajer's, awesome to have you here. How are you? I can't really join the live stream, being it's around 3 a.m. here, but I still try my best to join when I can. Wow. Tajer's, awesome to have you here. 3 a.m. That is seriously early, but yeah, awesome to have you here. If you can't stick around, that's fine. Make sure you get some rest. It is important to have that work-life balance. I will be doing streamings at different times coming up, mornings and evenings, so hopefully they will suit different time zones as well. So hopefully I haven't missed anything else in the chat. Azing says, does Mac, Linux or Windows? Less Windows now that I'm working from home. Yeah, exactly right. It's the corporate places that force us to use Windows. I don't know. Ben's Mac OS. Nice. Yeah, Mac OS is awesome. Definitely. 20.04 is available on Vulture. Cool. That's awesome. So I need to I'm going to be working on a GCP deployment for EddieBot tomorrow after I finish working with my client. That'll be one challenge. I have got it deploying, but it's not, as I mentioned yesterday, it's not quite working very well. Also, I want to arrange to get some guests on my channel. So I'm really keen to get people not just from web dev, but around that area. So I think I'm keen to get a recruiter on. Okay, whoa. Don't flame me just yet. Bear with me. But there are a couple of recruiters who are actually, I think, good at what they do. Only a couple. Like the list is very short. You could write it on the post-it note. Post-it note on a post stamp. That's small. Yeah, like really small. But I'm also keen to them to shed some light on the current industry in their countries and how a lot of places now are hiring remote because everyone's remote anyway, so therefore they can cast a wider net and get different talent from different places. So I think that's really important. So a couple of those, not too many, just a couple. And then typical web devs. Who else have we got? We've got some cloud dev advocates from Microsoft and Google who are going to join. I have got some people who are new to the industry as well. I want to try and balance it, right? I know I had Andrew on here and Dean, and they've got their kind of 15 years experience, but I'm actually keen to get people with 1 or 2 years. Had Janine, I think she said she had 1 year, and that was really good. So anyone who didn't see that, you can find that in my kind of videos that have been done, and the thumbnail is a picture of me and Janine, so you shouldn't better miss it. I think it was last week. And it's really good to show you how people have come from different backgrounds, different ages, different, some people have worked in different industries for many years. And I think that's really important. Tech is for everybody. Right, let me catch up on the chat. 20.04 is out. I use 18.04. I'm sure on the server there probably isn't a massive amount of difference. Brian or Jennifer or Azing, is there a big difference on those? Or is it more for the desktop stuff? Tijer's, I hope you're still awake. Do you use a capture card for your camera to use it without your PC? If so, which one? I forgot I left it on this screen. So yes, just to give you a bit of information. So this DSLR that's in front of you here goes into my PC that's under the desk that has an Elgato 4K 60 FPS capture card. Also my screen from my Mac, so this screen also goes into the PC underneath so I can share my screen, and that is using the same capture card as well. But then I also have a capture card on my Mac, which is an external Elgato 4K 30 FPS, so I can get output from the PC to my Mac. So when I'm doing video calls, I can do awesome things like this and say, hey, for people who don't know me, my name is this is what I do, and all the rest. Or if I want to share my socials, I can. So it makes, or I can share my desktop. I don't have to go into Zoom or go into whatever I'm using and try and figure out how to share the screen. I can just do that all controlled via my Stream Deck, which allows me to do everything seamlessly. And it's a higher quality because the PC is only designed to encode the video at the best possible rate it can. Karen, 6 to 7 months, currently web apps vulnerabilities. Awesome. Yeah, I'm actually going to get, I can't think of the guy's name, but from OWASP, who's going to show us Z-Attack proxy, which is also known as ZAP, and the heads up display, how you can pen test a website, and it gives you like a heads up display on the website about information and vulnerabilities about your website. So yes, I can't think of his name now. I can remember his Twitter handle, but yeah, he will be on it soon. Actually, I need to arrange that. I think that'd be really interesting. At Google Next a few months ago, he gave me a demo, and my mind was like, like it was crazy how awesome it was. Karen, whereabouts are you from in the world, actually? Because I know we've got people like Jennifer from the west coast of the US. Is it Tijesh who's in Australia? And yeah, we've got people all over the world. So I'd be curious to know where you're from. Brian, are you in UK? Are you in London or Ireland at the moment? Jose's got Tijesh, hopefully that answers your question. Jose's got a question. What service from GCP are you using to deploy the bot? Compute Engine or something else? Yes, I'm using App Engine. I'm trying to keep it really simple. I'm using App Engine, and it is deploying, but it deploys and then it says ready, but then the bot doesn't actually interact. So I don't know if it's the token not coming in via the environment variables. So that's one of the issues I have, that the bot doesn't actually kind of work when it works locally, but not when it's deployed. And the other issue is I created a project on GCP, and when I deploy, it goes to a different project with a really weird name. So I need to just try and figure why that's happening. So that's a bit weird. Brian, I love Eddie's feed. So cool and professional. We did a video one event last week, and I hated it. Wore a hat to hide my grey beard. How do you wear a hat to hide the grey beard? You'd have to kind of put a balaclava on. Good event, but visuals are hard for us oldies. It's taken me years to achieve this, right? I haven't bought this kit all in one go. I did get this new microphone a couple of days ago. Let me know how the audio is with this mic. I'm hoping it's really crisp and punchy. Hopefully it feels like I'm sitting there with you, which is what I want, right? Bring the community closer together. So let me know how this mic is. I still need to probably configure it a bit better and tweak things and so forth. But yeah, this has taken me 6 years to kind of build up. Working from home for 6 years, taken me 6 years to build up this all this kit. Kernel's Kernel up is to date. Right, okay, I guess it was a kernel update on 2004. Ubuntu Reaper is more up to date. More Python 3, Python 2 has been rightly junked over a much tighter. Okay, you got you. Yeah. So okay, yes, there's lots of other improvements as well. Okay, that's good to know. Brian, Sam of OWASP. No, not Sam. Oh. It's like his name is like Pearson on Twitter, like his handle, not his name. I can't think. I want to say Jason, but that's probably wrong. I'm not sure. But yes, I will definitely get him to be on the channel. Tejay says, whoa, thank you also. Which mic do you use? The quality is clean. I think there's a little bit of noise, so I've put in a noise gate to try and remove that, so when I don't say anything, it should be silent. But when I do talk, there'll be a little bit of noise. So I've got the Shure SM7B, which is what Michael Jackson used to record the Thriller album. And he used, I think, Mark 1. This is the Mark II. And I've got it going into a cloud lifter to give me 20 decibels of gain, because the output from this is really cold. It's not hot at all. And it goes into my Zoom H6. But I'm thinking of getting the Go XLR to just have some more oomph. So we will see. Allow me to control volumes of music and other bits and pieces. Tijer's was Thailand, not Australia. Yeah, apologies. It was one or the other. So yes, so from Thailand. That's still really far east. So awesome to have you here. I love Thailand. Can't wait to go back. But thank you very much for feeding the quality on the mic. That really helps, but I will tweak it to improve some more. Karen says, yeah, it's like Burp Suite. Yes, I've heard of Burp Suite, but I don't think Burp Suite is open source and free. I think there's a paid version. Is that correct? I'm not sure. Jason G says, change picture. Is it visible? It's not visible yet, but I remember from other people like Jose, it did take a bit of time for YouTube to update and so forth. So it will come up soon. By the way, it's awesome to have everyone here. If you have any questions, it's like kind of ask me anything lunchtime. Ask anyone else who's here, and if I don't know the answer, I will try and find out for you. And also, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. And my Twitter handle and my GitHub are kind of wrong way, that way, scrolling along the bottom. So don't forget to follow me on GitHub, see what open source I'm doing. I have done some open source contributions today, so you will see if you have a look. Brian's in London. Awesome, Brian. Good to have you here. You're just down the road, but I still can't see you with all this lockdown. Jason says, I'm from Greece, living in Algeria now. Awesome. Very, very cool. Nice, exotic places. That is very cool. Karen's in India. Again, another exotic, warm place. Oh, Ben was from Australia. Ben, apologies. I got you both the wrong way around for some reason. I thought Ben was in Thailand. That's everyone from all over the globe. We should all do a hackathon together and we should live stream it at the same time. That's still in my to-do list over the next kind of month. So let me know of any hackathons coming up. There were some, but let me know of any more that are coming up. So I'm not aware of any new ones that are coming up in the next few weeks. Brian says he's very conservative when it comes to my own Linux desktops, but migrating some now for the better kernel. I'm guessing it's just more stable, more performant, and so forth. I used to be like beta, always upgrade on beta, and then I've had some issues and I couldn't work on a client project. And then I'm now a bit more, I wait for the 0.1 version or the next kind of minor to come out until they fix some of the bugs. Kicking off outside my window, road rage, so much noise at the moment. That's not good. Yeah, if you're in the city, it's not so great. People from all around the world. Exactly, Jose. I love that. It's just awesome. Thank you for the Discord server. I've connected with many people who helped me through my projects, giving good advice. Glad I found your channel since it's leading me to where I am today. And thank you for the thanks. I really appreciate it, and I'm going to bring that up because it's also thanks to the community. The channel, the Discord wouldn't be what it is without everyone that's here and everyone that's kind of getting involved and contributing. So thank you all for being here, getting involved. I see Andrew's just joined. Now here comes trouble. Andrew, how are you doing? We got a call at 2:30, right? But Tajir, it's awesome to have you here. Let me know how else we can help and what else we can do. We are making continual improvements, like little and often, but we will make some more, and we're open to suggestions. Karen says both versions are available, the community and the professional version. Oh, okay, awesome. I'll have to check that out. Thanks for letting me know. That's cool. Also, when updating Linux, it's hard for me as I run so much Linux. I do it when essential or really handy. Yeah, fair enough. It kind of it makes sense. You need a lot of time to check everything and make sure everything still works. But Linux is pretty good. Carl from China. Yes, that's quite far east as well. Carl, what time is it for where you are? It must be kind of 3 a.m. again as well. Really, really late. But awesome to have people joining. And I hope everyone's week is going well and the challenges that they're having are kind of good challenges, and it's going to make you grow, and we'll all grow from that and all succeed. So that's why it's important for people to share their challenges. I always talk about this third party that my client's using. It's been very challenging, and they luckily have now got their SDK on NPM, because them emailing me stuff was just a pain, because I'd have to change their package JSON to bump the version, and it was just a nightmare. Whereas by using NPM, by them using kind of the NPM hosting, that way NPM just kind of takes care of it. They have to bump it, although they still seem to have some challenges around certain things. Maybe it's the first time they do it, so we will see. Andrew says, I hope you have your documentation work all sorted. I want to finish at 4 p.m. today. We're going to talk about, after this live stream, you and me are going to talk about our client documentation. I have some ideas. I have some stuff that's incomplete from a few weeks ago for me to have a look and see. We will leave it in a good state for the next people, of course, right? We're going to be proud of our work. Unfortunately, it's not an open source project, so I can't bring it up on the screen and show everyone. But we will. Andrew and me are working on that gaming platform. Andrew has done some awesome work on that. He's trying to do the wrapper for the games at the moment, which is quite interesting. So we'll see how that goes. So what's everyone else's plan for the rest of the week? What do you have planned for the rest of the week? Hopefully there is some open source in there. There is going to be some open source. Doesn't have to be code. Remember, you can contribute with comments, raising an issue, raising a bug, helping documentation. It's really important. Amadine, awesome to have you here. How is your week going, and how is your startup? And who do you have on your live stream this Saturday? Amadine runs a startup live stream every Saturday. So who do you have on your stream this Saturday? So I love it that we have such a mix of people from founders. I know Luke came over from Amadine's channel. He often comes in and says hi. He's running a startup as well. And it's really interesting to see. I mean, I'm running my own startup. I'm always quite open about what I do. I do have clients that help me fund my startup. My startup, Dashboard Hub, is fully open source. I do need to reboot that in the next kind of week or so. I will be live streaming me working on that. Talking about Luke, here is Luke now. This was not planned. This is just, coincidence. So yes, Luke is a founder, has his own startup as well, and he came over from Amadine's channel. So I think it's really awesome that all these tech channels kind of, cross-pollinate. I don't know if that's the right word. That just sounds a bit dodgy, but you kind of know what I mean, right? Anyone want to help me out and knowing kind of what I mean, then just say that in the channel. So yeah, I think that's really good, and I love it that on Discord people are sharing links. So I do have a lot of videos to watch that D-Raj, who isn't here today, I don't think, but who usually is, he shared some really interesting links about Vue.js, about the founder, and about open source. So those videos look really interesting. So I'm looking forward to watching those, kind of tonight or tomorrow. It looks really good. Amadine, doing well, thanks. Busy week as there are quite many virtual events taking place this week. There are so many virtual events at the moment, which is awesome. I love being spoilt for choice, right? You don't want a TV channel with just kind of one TV or Netflix with one movie. You want that variety. However, sometimes there are too many and they clash, and it's kind of hard. And I usually pick the ones that you can't watch the replay afterwards, which is kind of like, I prefer to watch the other ones, just in case I don't get time to watch the replays. But if there aren't replays of certain ones, then I kind of have to watch it. Acing, that sounded dodgy. It did. I didn't mean anything dodgy by it. I didn't. This Saturday, I'll be joined by CDB-based startup founder to be announced today. Okay, cool. So check out Amadine's channel if you want to catch the live stream. There's always some interesting conversations around that. So yes, really, really interesting. Cross-fertilization of ideas and people is good. Brian, thank you very much. Let's bring that up on the screen and show people kind of understand what I mean. Like I said, I'm here not to have all the answers. I'm here to start the conversation and facilitate conversation between people in the community. And it's awesome that we've got such a wide variety of people in this community, from tech to non-tech. I hate saying non-tech, but everyone's in tech, but they might not necessarily be a coder. They might be a tester. They might be a product owner. Might be a founder. And we've got people from all around the world. So it's always really interesting to see and hear from their examples and their experience. So everyone watching, by the way, do me a favor. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. It doesn't cost you anything. It just helps the channel and helps me grow. So thank you very much. That photo is better than the real me. Which one came up, Brian? I thought it was your photo from YouTube. We should catch it from YouTube. Although on some people, I think if I bring up Jose's one, it hasn't been bringing up his photo, which is kind of weird. Maybe it's a cache issue or something. Let's see. The stream is something forward to every day now. Luke, that's awesome to hear. It means a lot. It really does. Thank you so much. I hope that it's something that people look forward to every day, but I also do appreciate not everyone can take the time out every day and join. So hopefully kind of, a few times a week, 2-3 times a week, if people can join, come and say, hey, share some things that they're working on, some of the challenges they've had and how they solve that challenge. That's why I love it when people come one day and say, I've got this as a challenge. And then the next day they come and say, I solved that challenge. If you're going on for a week and people haven't solved that challenge, then your challenge is too big. Break it smaller. You don't want a piece of work that is huge. You definitely want to keep it small, little and often. So really, every day you should be having challenges and you should be solving them every day as well and bringing up more challenges. So hopefully that makes sense. But that's awesome for you to say that, Luke. Thank you very much. I like Santa after, I guess I say look like Santa after a long week on the booze. Right. Look forward to. Yeah, I kind of, I guess that, Luke. Andrew, so as long as you're not on a street corner ringing a bell, I'm not reading that out, but we all know what you mean. So yes. Andrew's got his startup as well, and that's an e-commerce platform, although I think he's pivoting in the near future. I'll let him tell you about that. And also Luke mentioned his startup last time, and my memory is not serving me well, so I do apologize. If you want to hear more about Luke's startup, ask him in the chat, and it won't just be me asking people. And yeah, for the rest of the week, I guess my challenges are, I've got to keep them small, but I do have a list, is videos. I do really hope to get some awesome videos created. Well, I'm going to say they're awesome because I'm biased, obviously mine, but then get some more feedback from people, and I can go into more depth and more detail in those videos. Carl, after my tech lead got laid off, I'm not talking to anyone. Basically, the community has made it less lonely. Oh, it's awesome to hear, Carl. That's really awesome. Well, not awesome to hear that your tech lead got laid off. Hopefully, there isn't a huge gap, or you're not having to pick up too much of their work. But good that the community helps. So it's awesome to have you here. I'm just looking up at my big screen at the moment. I just want to make sure that wrong one, that one. Just want to make sure that the mic is not. The camera's not focusing on the mic, but more focusing on me. So let's see. I might move this out of the way. Let's see how it goes. Right, new toy. Got to learn to play with it and get it right. Maybe a new job. Oh, I've missed some things out now. Maybe a new job for you once we exit lockdown, as it will be Xmas by then. Yeah, the lockdown is definitely taking a while, but let's get this sorted and let's be well. And I think a lot of people a lot of places are really appreciating the remote work. I know some people are abusing it, but I think a lot of people are appreciating it, and I think it's really good. It's going to change the workplace for a lot of those enterprise or older kind of companies. Yeah, my wife cut my hair for me because everything is shut. Yes, that's a really good question, Luke. I like that. Amadine, these virtual events that you talk about, let us know which ones they are, because we might like to join as well. I know this week on my calendar, Andrew, we have an open fintech event tomorrow. I think we are attending. It's a virtual event, so attending virtually. But there must be so many more. So let us know which ones you're attending. I did get reached out to by the GDG, that's Google Developers Group Cloud. And I do actually want to, I think, hold a Flutter talk on my channel. So I'm really keen to have that. I know people have talked about Flutter. I know nothing about it. But yeah, I'm really keen to share that all with you. Let's see. Yeah, Amadine, you should be able to share it in the chat. Let me see. I might have to... I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what Nightbot does. But otherwise, you can also... Amadine, I have added you as a moderator on the channel, so you should be able to post links now in the chat, and you can always share it on Discord as well. I'd recommend events that focus on communities, either those with Slack, Discord, any way of networking and other attendees. Capital Enterprise Resilience is nice for early stage. It says finish lunch, so you can type now. Okay, that's cool. You got all of his work, Carl. Oh, that sucks. Well, it's kind of good, but hopefully they're giving you enough time to do the work. You're not trying to do twice as much work in kind of same amount of time, because that would really not work out. Yes. Yeah, the networking is really important. I think that's why a lot of companies are hiring DevRel people, because they are realizing that networking is not the same as before, where you could hold an event at your offices and people can come and you can just leave some employees to work late and chat to people that arrive. It's a different landscape now, and I think a lot of companies have realized that. So it's it's an interesting kind of space at the moment. But a lot of, I was speaking with Andrew, and a lot of these places who are hiring DevRel people, developer advocates, developer relations, whatever you want to call them, they're doing it more on a permanent basis rather than a contractor basis, which is what I do. So it's it's interesting times. Let's bring that excitement up, Amadine. Okay, awesome. So what have I missed? On Flutter, talk with George of Flutter London. He's very handy. Awesome. Yes, so we could have some more Flutter talks. Flutter's not something I get involved in. I will be doing an Ionic and video and live stream as well. Tejez, hopefully I haven't missed anything out in the chat. If I have, just repost it, please. Tejez says, you're still awake. It's like, it must be 3:30 a.m. now. You're still awake in Thailand. What are your thoughts on Netifla? I can't even say that word. How do I say it? I can't say it. Let me bring it up on the screen. This one, Netlify. Anyway, that one, right? This one, if I point to the side, that one. Yes, I hear it's pretty awesome. Actually, we were having a discussion on Discord the other day, and people were saying how they've made it really seamless to deploy things. I actually don't know how far it goes. In that, does it allow you to like do serverless, or is it mainly focused on static websites that like use like Jekyll or something like that? So I'm actually not too sure, but I do hear it's amazing. I do hear it's really good. Power, yeah. Um, Power corrupts. Let's keep an eye on that one. That's so amazing. Everyone has a startup. It's actually a good idea to start one. Yeah, I think Jason, that's I think everyone has a startup. It's interesting to see how they do it. Do they kind of focus on it massively, or do they try and do it on the side? Are they full time on the startup? Are they doing it part time on the side? And it's quite interesting. So the way I tried to do mine was still work full time and have it on the side, but hire people to work on it. Therefore, I was hoping to go faster, and I could have like 3-4 people work on it. But I couldn't, I guess, do things in a certain way that I wanted to do them. So yeah, it was. I had to kind of, I guess, give up control and let them do it the way they wanted. And especially we were fighting against some tight deadlines to go to events that I'd sponsored. So now I've kind of pulled it back and actually want to go into the foundations and re-architect some of the project before I get more people onto the project. So we will see how it goes. Luke says payday today. Whoop whoop. Awesome. This lockdown's helping me sort out some finances. Yeah, I've noticed everyone's spending is a lot less now during the lockdown. So it is really, really true. Hopefully everyone's able to spend less, I suppose. Although I think I'm spending more. I really am. I'm spending more on my equipment. I just, got, like I said, this mic, the cloud lifter. I had the Zoom H6 XLR interface already, but now I want to get the Go XLR, which is out of stock at the moment. But I'm using a noise gate at the moment, but it also has things like equalizer, like EQ, and it has a hardware noise gate, which is apparently a lot better than being digital. But we will see. I'm going to kind of hold fire for the moment, and we will see how it goes. I'm spending lots more money. Netify. Netify. That might Brian. Thank you. I think you've kind of spelt it right. So yes, that's how you, I guess, pronounce it. Or have you spelled it wrong and it was the other way? I'm not sure. Someone help me out here. But it has a really good rep. It really does. Yeah, absolutely. Luke's also freelancing to help pay for the startup projects. Yeah, okay, sounds very familiar. Absolutely. Jose always prepends his questions with a Q, and I love that. I really, really do, because it's just really easy for me to see in the chat. So thank you, Jose. And still, your picture doesn't come up when I bring it up on the side, but it does come up in the chat. I don't know where the cache is, so I'm not really sure where the cache is, but hopefully it'll eventually update. Rebooted the computer 101 times. I'm doing mine on the side with a full-time job. Okay, Jose's question. Right. Eddie, do you know of any resources to practice software architecture? I prefer to solve exercises and code instead of reading about abstract concepts, just drawing diagrams. Yeah, that's a really good question. I think that's really important, because you're right. Reading something and thinking you understand it is very different to doing it. It's very different to trying to explain it to someone as well, because they'll ask questions that you didn't think of. So for practical stuff, I think pick a side project. That's the best way to learn. Pick a side project and try and do that. And then any area in particular that you're thinking, like design patterns or kind of CI/CD, deploying out to certain environments, let us know, and we can maybe kind of all share some actual links. I mean, Brian's just saying AWS is well architected, guide is useful. AWS is just huge, quite a minefield. I'm planning to prefer GCP over AWS, but for the resources itself, just getting your hands dirty is the best way to learn. Absolutely. But let's know which area in particular. Spending less in lockdown. My wife's on Amazon like mad, 5 deliveries a day. Yeah, that's so true, right? Everyone's just been going kind of crazy. Really, really have. Okay, it's good. I'm glad she's spending as well as I'm spending too. Eddie, your mic goes straight to your H6? No, it doesn't. Luke, the mic goes via a cloud lifter to give me an extra 20 decimals of gain, because if I go straight to the Zoom H6, I don't think you can see it. It's kind of hidden down here. If I move my mug, it's hidden at the back. You won't be able to see it. But just there, if you can kind of see a silver kind of front, that's my cloud lifter. And then the Zoom H6 is blocked by my chair. I guess it's kind of here. You can see a little display kind of there. That's the Zoom H6. But if you go straight into the Zoom H6, you've got to be at like almost 100% gain, and the noise at the base is just really, really high. You'd have to have your noise gate quite high to compensate that. I don't know if the voice would be quite stuttery because of that. So people have done it and go straight into the Zoom H6. The H5, I think, and the 4 can't handle it, but the H6 can. And but I would definitely get a cloud lifter or a FET head to give you kind of 20 more dBs of clean gain. Which says something about how efficient these logistic companies are. Yeah, 5 per day, right? That's just crazy. Not very efficient at all. Can I has a snap? Spectra, long time no see. Spectra, did I see you go live streaming like in the middle of the night at some crazy hour? I mean, maybe for your location it wasn't such a crazy hour. When you can I have a nap? I read snap. Sorry, my bad. Can I have a nap? Yeah, go have a nap. I think you were live streaming at some stupid o'clock. Companies all see architecture differently. True. Want to take requirements, distribute them appropriately, and avoid tech debt. Yeah, you're right. Everyone handles it very differently. But I think to get your hands-on is really the best way to learn, and you're going to find so many challenges, because when you're reading it, when you're looking at an example tutorial or docs, whatever it is, it all looks brilliant, and it all looks fine, and it's just like, okay, that works, makes sense. When you come to do it, it's a very different thing. So I definitely recommend, whatever you want to learn, follow a tutorial to begin with for step 1, but then for step 2, just build something completely different and do something completely different. Spectra's EST. That's East Coast, right? EST? I think so. It's like New York kind of way, right? Harsh, awesome to have you here. We're already past halfway through the hour. How time flies when you're having fun with your friends. So it's awesome to have you here. I went live about 6:30 p.m. Okay, yeah, I think it was like 1 a.m. my time or something. So I remember seeing notification. I was like, I went to get a drink. I saw notification. I was like, wow, he'd be crazy. But yes, so it's awesome that everyone is live streaming and sharing their kind of work and their challenges. Andrew, you need to live stream more. I have reined in my spending. However, I spent 400 times more on eBay watching out for kit that I need for my projects, prototypes, tips to add things to watch lists, so sellers offer you the best price. Stephen, how is your build going? You're building a 4U, if I remember correctly from Discord, a 4U kind of like preamp or something with live streaming kind of server with XLR inputs and all sorts of things. It sounded really interesting. I'm waiting for some photos on that. Harsh says they were taking my afternoon nap. Afternoon naps are the best. That means, do you know why they're the best? Because you get 2 mornings a day then. When I don't work for a client and I'm working on my open source projects or the community, my best routine is, can I go to bed like 11 or 12 at night, get to spend time with the family, but then I still get up at like 5 o'clock, get like, 5-6 hours of solid work done, have lunch, go nap for a few hours to get that 8 hours. I still need my 8 hours, right? I'm a baby. And I still need my hours, but then like when I get up again at kind of like, 3-4 in the afternoon, I get a few more hours of like kind of morning time, and I'm a morning person, so that's really really awesome for me. I understand it's different in each company. Asked because recently I was in charge of the feature, and a senior figured out using a message bus was the best solution. Message buses are really powerful, but people use it wrong, and it's more like CV-driven development. CV-driven development, I think, is a term that Andrew and me coined a while back, where people just do things just to kind of say, I've done it, and put it on their CV. So, I think it's important to use the right tool for the job, and using things like Kafka or ZeroMQ or whatever it is, or ESB, then they're usually overkill for what most people need. I know people want their microservices to be decoupled and do all sorts of this fancy stuff, but it's more to maintain, right? It's more to add to your CI, more to add to your CD. It's harder to debug. It's harder to test, especially to do kind of end-to-end testing. Yes, you can do kind of more unit testing, but it's just, really, really difficult. So Yeah, most of the time, 9 times out of 10, people don't need it. Maybe you do need it. I'm not saying you don't. Maybe you do need that resilience. And there are a lot of design patterns that you get around the message queues. So if you want to use a message queue or message bus, then it's not about just sticking one in place. You need to have those design patterns around that to give you that resilience, and speed and performance and scalability and all that sorts of stuff. Luke, have you got a list of all the gear somewhere? Sorry, another gear question. I actually haven't, but I am going to do a video on it. So from this camera angle, you probably can't see, but I haven't finished kind of soundproofing my room. So I will do a video and have links to all the kit and everything that I use. I will do a more detailed video, but I want to kind of get the room a little bit more finished. Hopefully this weekend. Everyone watching, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, by the way. That really helps support the channel, and I will appreciate it. So I will do that. Keep reminding me. I do forget, but I hopefully haven't forgotten that one, because it's something I do want to do. But yeah, keep reminding me, keep asking. I won't get upset. But anyone who didn't see that, I was going to bring it up on the screen, and I've kind of lost it somewhere. Okay, I've lost it. But you kind of know which question I'm talking about. He was the one architecting a solution using RabbitMQ, decoupling services and all that. So that's what I want to learn. I definitely felt like a junior. When it comes to using new tech or a different type of architecture, we always all feel like a junior. There is so much to learn about that. If you actually look at ZeroMQ's documentation in terms of design patterns and architecture, they do use ZeroMQ as their example, but their design patterns can be applied to RabbitMQ or anything like that. And if you're truly decoupled, then you could swap out to a different message bus anyway. But their documentation, so I remember correctly from quite a few years ago when I used it at Crossrail, which is Transport for London, then it was, it was really interesting. It was overkill for what we needed. Again, it didn't make sense to use all these message queues, but it was CV-driven development project by the people who were already there. But they've been doing it for years, so I had to pick up what they were working with and kept that the same. But yeah, ZeroMQ's documentation was epic, and it wasn't just specifically about ZeroMQ. So do have a look at that and let us know how you get on. I'm gonna try and pronounce this name. That's why I was pausing for a second. Pratyesh, yes, hopefully I pronounced that right. Favorite programming language? I think right tool for the job, but I do go through phases in my life where I don't know, 15 years ago, 10 to 15 years ago, loved PHP. Maybe kind of 6 to 10 years ago, loved Java. And the last 6 years I've really loved TypeScript, or JavaScript and TypeScript. Angular for the front end, Node for the back end, or serverless function. And I have really loved that. And I think you can do so much from mobile apps to desktop apps. And I think that's been, really, as well as web, that's been really valuable and it's really impressive. What about yours, Pratyesh? Hopefully I pronounced that right. Sorry if I haven't. What is your favorite programming language? Yeah, ESB certainly makes you feel cool. I went through a spat about 10 years ago using ESBs a lot, but they're not a silver bullet for sure. Yeah, everyone thinks, you just maps it for you. It has that resilience built in. You get the pub sub stuff. And yeah, it's just, because if it's a side project, it's very different. If you're on a tight deadline for a project, then you don't get the time to really invest into setting up all those best practices. So you kind of shoehorn in this message bus, and everyone's like, oh yeah, we are using message bus, but we're not using any of the real valuable features from it. So definitely make sure that right tool for the job. I feel like a dinosaur mostly. Yeah, it's just as technology moves so fast, right? We all can't learn all the time. Or we can learn all the time, but we can't keep up all the time is what I mean. I'll explain that right. Yeah, we all can't, we can learn all the time, but we can't learn everything. And I think that's why it comes to our discussion we had previously, I think it was earlier in the week or last week, where it's about that T structure, where you really want to go wide but not in depth. So you want to go wide with not a lot of detail. And you want to understand about a lot of projects, what's available, what's useful, and what's available, so you're aware of it. You don't necessarily need to know how to use it, but what's available. And then you want to go deep in 1 or 2 or 3 areas, depending on the areas and depending on your experience. You want to go deep so you can be a specialist in that area, but also you've got knowledge of other things. So when I interview people and when I have meetings with people, for me, it's important that they're aware of things, but they don't necessarily have to know it, but they know where to look for it. I don't want someone to go and Google, how do I do message bus? I want someone to Google a specific thing. You're taking that message bus as an example. I want people to do a specific thing to say, to Google, something more specific, basically. Let me see, what else have we got? What gets the job done working with Dart nowadays using Flutter? Cool. I'm doing Dart Flutter too. Awesome. I mean, Dart and Flutter seem to be really popular at the moment, but I haven't seen it used in the wild so much. A lot of side projects. Precious, I hope I pronounced it right, says he likes my setup. So thank you so much. I am actually going to show it one more time because I'm very proud of my setup. It's taken me 6 years to build all this. And this is just a small part into what I have. Behind the camera, kind of behind me, I have a recording little sofa area, and I also have a full magnetic whiteboard wall that goes across the wall. So it's a whiteboard and it's magnetic, and it's just freaking awesome. I love my home office. And then when clients say, why don't you come work from our office? It's really nice. We have free coffee. And it's like, you want me to work on a small laptop and a shitty kind of 1080p screen where I've got some awesome 5K screens here. Just so I can get free coffee. I got free coffee at home. I'm good. It's all cool. It's cool. Thanks. And you just save so much time on travel, and you save so much stress on public transport. Obviously, it's good to go in for some meetings. Don't get me wrong. It's good to meet your team, but I think kind of 1 day a week is more than enough, or kind of 2 days a month, more than enough to go in to meet with the team and all that sort of stuff. I know now a lot of companies are forcing their teams to have Zoom drinks in the evening, and I think people in the company will automatically have those calls. You don't have to force anything. Forcing it never works, right? It's an expression that Andrew's brother said, which I really makes sense. I really do love. It's when companies say, yes, you have to do this, and it's because it will help culture and morale. And the expression is, beatings will continue until morale improves. And it's like, that doesn't make any sense. Let me catch up with the chat. Jose has a question. What do you think are the most common mistakes that juniors do that can be avoided? One mistake I did was commit the env sample file with examples for API keys because I didn't know. So Jose, I think that's a really good question. I've seen seniors make that mistake as well. So I don't think you should take that personally. It happens to everyone. But that's why I think it's important for that files like that to be ignored, so that it can't get committed. I guess you can force add it, I think, in Git. I've never tried. But yes. How's the video, by the way? I've got YouTube giving me an alert saying the video is a bit, like, the bandwidth is a bit... let me know how it is. Hopefully it's okay. We've got about 14 minutes left of this live stream, so I kind of want to, hopefully it's okay. Not much I can do if the internet in the area kind of sucks. But so... I think just before you commit, don't do a kind of commit. When you write your commit message, you do git commit -m message dot. Don't do that. I think a lot of people, even seniors, make mistakes like that. The important thing to do is kind of do a git status -s, get a summary of what files have been changed. And then when you do your either stage those files that you want to commit, and then do your commit message and commit those files at a stage. That's probably the safest way, rather than trying to commit everything. So don't use the commands like have a dot in it. If it's a git add dot or git commit dot, don't do it because it's too dangerous. I always would specify the files. You can specify a directory. So if everything's in the source directory, then you could go source / and the add or the commit command will do everything in that directory. So you don't have to specify every single file. But don't use dot, because then that way it's bound to happen. It's bound to be a mistake. Hopefully that answers that question. We'll do some videos on that. So actually, Jose, if you could ping me a DM in Discord, just copy and paste that, and I will do a video on something like that. I think that's quite a really good question, and I'll try and speak to some people to give their feedback too. I think that's important. So Brian says Dart can be used natively on Linux and Windows. Oh, okay, interesting. That's good to know. Okay, Harsh says it's pronounced Pratyes. Use. Oh my god, I'm making it worse. Oh my god, I'm so bad. I'm really sorry. We're all friends here, right? Superbox development is slow as I want to review hard to get the vintage and modern kit basics like jacks as well as 1U bits of metal to recess these from the distributors that are closed. Sounds hard, but we want to see pictures. We definitely do, really do. Share them in the Discord channel. I really want to see that. We have free coffee. I know it's crazy, right? Really, really crazy. Some places even say unlimited coffee. It's like, how much coffee can you drink? It's fine. It's okay. Dart to native use for this, Brian. Fosto. Hopefully I pronounced it right. Awesome to have you here. Long time no see. Dart to native. Okay, so is that a third-party library or is Dart to native an official library? Interested to know that actually, because I do get wary of some third-party libraries sometimes, especially that aren't maintained, or I haven't got a huge community around it. Been bitten too many times. Azing, put a Q in. Nice. Is it advisable to learn multiple programming? Let me bring this up. I hope I haven't missed anyone else's questions. If I have, I do apologize. So Azing's question is it advisable to learn multiple programming languages at the same time or focus on one? Oh, you got question 2. We'll come to question 2 in a second. I think if it's your first language, then I would learn one for a short while, and then I would pick up number 2. And the second language is always harder. Easier. Oh my god, I need to kind of, it's Wednesday, having a bad week by the sounds of it. Yeah, the second language, the third programming language is always easier to learn after the first one. Yes, they have their quirks, but it's always easier. So I would try and get one with a good amount of knowledge. Well, Andrew has answered that as well. Try to focus on one at a time for sure. Absolutely. And that's why I think JavaScript full stack has done so well, or TypeScript, because you're not context switching so much with the languages. 10 minutes to go. Okay. Question 2. If you focus on one, at what point is it good to start learning a second? When you're confident with one language, I would move on to the second. And everyone is different. I don't think there's a time scale. If you could build, say, I don't know, user login, I'm thinking of server-side language, I suppose. Okay, say take a server-side language. I could think of something simple like an API. If you could build a CRUD API with some business logic, that's a bit more complex than just CRUD, and I suppose you could, do some searches, but that might be in a database or Elasticsearch or something anyway. But I think then it's probably once you feel you can build a real life project, no matter how small, because a lot of the time the backend code is kind of repeated as such. So I would only when you're ready. I would definitely do it when you're ready. And you might start learning a second language, and then you might stop for a time and go, actually, you know what, I'm not ready. But a second language should really complement your first. So like if you learn, I'm trying to think of an example, Python and Ruby, they kind of do the same thing. So I don't think there's a huge benefit. I would learn something that adds a much bigger benefit. Luke, bye. We'll catch you next time. Thank you so much for joining today. Awesome to have you here. Have a great day, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow or later in the week when you can join. Andrew says 1 month typically to get familiar, then keep going for 2 to 3 months, gain more confidence, remember the core concept, but definitely build projects in those times. Don't just do code wars, because then if you just do code wars, it's not practical. Sometimes you have to complementary languages. In that case, you might consider 2, front end and back end. Exactly. Dart and Flutter will offer web support soon too. How soon, Brian? Are we talking like kind of a few months, or is it like I don't want to say a pipe dream, but you're talking about kind of a few years? Committing environment variables to a repo is classic. If you committed it, and pushing it, I guess, is the next step, right? I always do a kind of a git what changed, so it kind of lists the logs of the commits, but it shows you the files, and then that way I like to see what has changed before I push it up, because if you haven't pushed it up, you can still undo that commit. Actually, I should add that to my my Git videos. I've got these notes here that I'm going to do for my Git video. I should add it's a Git reset as well. Reset would be a good one to also include in my Git video coming soon. Watch this space. but it is a classic, you're right. However, Des should be provided keys that are sandbox keys where it really doesn't matter. For pod keys, these should be a super quick rotation. Yes and yes, you shouldn't have access to your pod keys. I know on the projects that I work with Andrew, we don't have the pod keys. They are in CI, and even if you look at CI, they're all kind of asterisks with stars out, so you can't see it anyway. So yeah, you shouldn't have the pod keys, and as Stephen says, you should be able to rotate these fairly quickly if you needed to, but no one should really have them anyway. Cool. Harsh laughing at my pronunciation. Dart is very C-like, easy, and Flutter is a dual platform backed by Google. Okay, got you. C-like, that doesn't sell it to me. I'm good. I'll stick with Ionic. Dart to native takes a standard Dart program, compiles it into local architecture. Okay, but do you, with a lot of those kind of places that, a lot of those tools that convert it from one to another, you do lose a lot of functionality, I suppose, is what I want to say. Yeah, one language best at a time, easy on the brain. Exactly. I can play with Flutter on Android TV. Nice. And has been very excited about everything I found. Awesome. That's really good to hear. That is really good to hear. I'm loving it. These great, really good questions. And I'm also loving that, other people are answering the questions. Like I said, I don't have all the answers, but I want to facilitate some of the answers in the community, and it's really good. And like I said, I will bring people with different experiences, different backgrounds, and different technologies onto my channel to share it with you. Azing says, I'm learning Python, but also want to learn Dart and Flutter, more mobile focused. Have a look at Ionic. It's really good. I know it's not native, but it's really impressive what you can do, and you can get most features, like 9 times out of 10, what you need out of it. Access to the phone, the phone's features, and all the rest. So everyone, it is 5 to 2. And I'm going to end early today in the next couple of minutes because I have another meeting that I need to get to. I'm sure you all understand. I know you're all busy as well, but I did start a couple of minutes early to compensate, so I hope that's okay. And before I forget, we'll look at the chat in a second, but before I forget, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell button so you get notified when I do go live. I do have, I was going to say I do, but I'm not going to say that. I do have impromptu live streams that I do, damn it, I said that. That I do at random times, and you'll get notified when I post out videos as well. And maybe you want to share it with some colleagues or friends. You might find this channel and our community useful, and we can continue the chat between streams in the Discord channel. So if I write !Discord, Nightbot should automatically add in a link so I can see you on Discord afterwards, and everyone can continue the chat. All right, let me catch up on what I missed. Dart is fast, much faster than Python. I guess if it's closer to C, then it's going to be. But right, most of the libraries and tools and languages are fast enough for what we need. Flutterweb sounds like an answer to React Native. Performance stats show that Dart performs better than Swift. Wow, okay, that's impressive. I suppose it depends. Maybe it was on some specific custom tests. It depends on, I suppose, what it is. Flutter, Dart, all-in-one, web, mobile, native, backend, less stress, and it's fast. Yeah, I mean, it does sound good. I still think it's early days. I worked with Ionic 2, 3, and 4. Fusto, so what did you think of Ionic? I really like it. I haven't worked on it in a while. I think maybe 2 was the last time I looked, but I will do a video and a live stream on it soon. So I will be interested in seeing that. Plus, it's backed by Google. Yeah, it's going to be pretty good. I mean, Angular, Ionic. I don't know if Ionic is backed by Google, but Angular is, which is, Ionic uses a lot of the stuff on there, which is pretty awesome. Eddie, for your Git guide, amending commits would be super helpful. Adding all the things, then commit, removing the environment variable in the history still. Yes, that's true. Stephen, could you just DM that to me when you get a chance on Discord? So when I come back to it later, I can make sure I can make a note of it. Eddie, where is your Git guide? I haven't done it yet. I'm going to do a video on it soon. So I will do that this week. I will do a Git guide on that. Kind of like not obscure commands that some people have done. I want to do the kind of the workflow, the commands that you need to get your job done. And yes, there are other, so many commands available. I will include some fancy ones like bisect and reset to undo commits. And I'll put warnings around that. Don't do that if the previous commit is not yours and all the rest. But it's a standard workflow. I don't want to do some crazy workflows that like Linux kernel has like, I don't know, 300 branches and some gatekeepers and all sorts of weird workflows. I do want to keep it simple for like 90% of projects. Stephen says, thanks all. See ya until next time. Stephen, thanks for joining. Have a great day and we'll catch you soon. You accidentally learned Dart because of Angular, because yes, you're right. Before, Angular was going to use Dart before they used TypeScript, which was quite interesting. It was. I haven't looked at Dart in a long time, so I can't even remember what it looks like. But TypeScript is awesome. It reminds me of Java, and I love that. React Native people are migrating to Dart Flutter. React people are such fanboys. I don't know if they would. We'll see. Fanboys and girls. Sorry, didn't mean to discriminate. Fan people. I got it. I don't really say that expression that much, so that's why I haven't really practiced it very much. Harsh says I can't post links. Harsh, post it in the Discord, and we'll have a look there. Either here on Discord. Yeah, I think Nightbot won't let you post a link in YouTube. I need to fix that. I need to try and work on that. For regulars, it should allow you to post, but just post in Discord. So that would be awesome. Right, everyone, it's 1 minute to 2, 1 minute to the hour. I better go. I will see you all in the Discord later on. We'll continue the conversation. Thank you, Azing 2 p.m. Go. Thank you so much for reminding me. Love that. Yes, I do need to go. I need to grab a quick drink before my meeting. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your day, your night, wherever you are in the world, to come and have a conversation with the community. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, all the rest. You know the usual stuff. And feel free to follow me on socials. I want to get my hand moving the right way this time. Damn it, the wrong way. Follow me on socials. And if you do connect with me on LinkedIn, put in a message why we should connect. Don't just send me a kind of I get so many LinkedIn connect messages that I kind of ignore most of them. So yes, but also awesome to have you all here. Thank you so much all for contributing to the community. That's awesome. I will catch you all very soon. Have an awesome Wednesday.